Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the beautiful stadium here in Shreveport, Louisiana, the Lee Hedges Stadium, and a picturesque day for some college D1 lacrosse, where your LSU Tigers take on the Horned Frogs of TCU. And hello again, everyone. I'm going to be your play-by-play announcer, Heckma Harrison. It is my pleasure to be with you guys today on this broadcast where the LSU Tigers look to get on the winning side of things after a loss yesterday in Florida to Florida University. Got an opportunity to speak with Coach Shane Coppins before the game, and he basically let me know in not too many words that this is a game that he looks at for his squad to be a must-win game for the Tigers. Now, on the other side, at TCU, who is undefeated after coming back from Tulsa, Oklahoma, and defeating the Jayhawks of Kansas in a match where they completely dominated the Jayhawks. They are 3-0 and looking for to solidify that berth that they have in the MCLA tournament. Got an opportunity to speak with Coach Mark Purcell, and his number one thing was making sure that they stayed in the winning column, making sure that his seniors and his leaders on his team take advantage of every opportunity that they get here in Louisiana, knowing that LSU is a team that is hungry for a victory. Going to start with get the starting lineups for the Tigers at LSU, and at the attackman for LSU is number 1, Caleb Monzon, number 38, Wally Sofield, number 44, Ron Johnson, and number 15, Matthew Bates, number 3, Brett Davis, the captain, number 23, Cade Hernandez, and on your defense, the defenseman number 4, Garrett Frey, and number 6, Kirby Stiefel, and number 37, Colin Ferguson, and your goalie, Henry Ballard. As both teams take the field in action, getting ready to start. Out at the Fogo for the Horned Frogs is going to be number 29, Danny Mahoney. And for the Tigers, number 15, Matthew Bates. And ground ball taken by TCU. Well, still a bit of a scrum at the 45-yard line. Possession will go to LSU. Working the X down the middle of the field for the Tigers is number 1, Caleb Malzone, and he gets out and gets a score over number 6, Brody Cummins from TCU. And as I stated before the face-off, that when I got an opportunity to speak with Shane Coppins, his number one thing was this is a must-win situation, and based off of that first goal from the face-off, the sense of urgency is going to be all over the field today. Face-off taken by Parker Brennan for the Horned Frogs. Substitutions being made. Number 9, Griffin Turner comes on. Number 32, Will Cambrell. And number 31, Trey Mala. The Horned Frogs start the game in an open set. Trey Mala working the middle of the field, being defended by number 7, Devin Bonney. Pass attempt goes out of bounds, so that's going to be a turnover that is going to go to the Tigers. Kirby Stifel's pass is to Garrett Frey. And we have an early whistle. Looks like we need a reset on the time. LSU setting up their offense, working behind X is number 1, Caleb Monzon. And that's going to be an error and turnover by Monzon. Ball goes out of bounds. LSU doing a good job of not allowing an easy clear for TCU. Nonetheless, TCU is getting in their offensive set. Defending the near side is number 14, Drew Dodd. And another turnover created by the TCU defense, and there's an early goal. TCU offense, does score. So we're all knotted up here 1-1 with 12:20 in the first quarter. I believe that was Griffith Turner who scored the points for TCU. And Fogo for the Tigers is number 15, Matthew Bates. Tigers able to come away with the ground ball. Being controlled by number 7, Devin Bonney. Horned Frogs extending their defense. Number 20, Billy Niles out defending number 8, Joshua Harrison for TCU. And that's another goal by number 7, Devin Bonney, who gets in front of the cage and scores on number 6, Brody Cummins, the goalie for TCU. And with 11:27 in the first quarter, LSU leads 2-1. And it's like the face-off taken by TCU. Working it up the field is number 18, Zach Cipolla. Gets it to number 2, Ethan Griffin. Working behind X was Nicholas Perino. Now working the alley for the Horned Frogs is number 22, Michael Bacino. And that's going to be a turnover, and no penalty called on that. Looked like a slashing penalty, but no call. Michael Pacino gets it out to Trey Mala working the far side. Mala to Griffin Turner. Mala being defended by Diego Segura. Working back behind X is number 9, Griffin Turner. And that's some good defense by LSU, able to create that turnover. Looking for the ground ball at the middle of the field, and it goes back to TCU. Trey Mala comes away with it. And that's a shot on goal by number 32, Will Gambrell. And a save by Henry Ballard. We have a slashing penalty called, and Will Gambrell is going to serve a 1-minute penalty violation, so the Tigers will be a man up. Let's see if they're able to take advantage of those numbers. Bringing it in is number 12, Mason Cardiff. Tigers in an open set. Trying to get it to the front of the cage. Pass was intercepted by number 8, Joshua Harrison. Hayden Lundy working the far side. Being defended by Colin Ferguson. Spencer Vieira for TCU runs off. It's like Gambrell has served his minute violation for the slashing penalty, and TCU is back to full strength. Trey Mala working the alley. Gets an outlet pass to Perino. Perino having trouble with the ground ball. Possession is going to stay with TCU. And that is a shot and score by Griffin Turner. And that's 7 minutes in the first period. And with that score, TCU has taken the lead, and the score is 3-2 TCU. Justin Cozy is the Fogo. Excuse me, I said 3-2. The score is actually tied 2-2. LSU takes possession. Wally Schofield gets it to number 1, Caleb Munzone. Munzone working behind the cage, gets back up top side, looking for a pass. That was a pass, or the ball can't just rolled off of the head of his stick. And TCU takes possession on the turnover. It's a great rear check, but Wally Schofield keeps possession, gets it out to number 1, Caleb Munzone. Tigers setting up their offense. Defending for TCU is number 27, Michael Fogarty. Fogarty able to create that turnover, and the Horned Frogs are on the fast break. .505 in the first period. Connor McLaughlin on for the Horned Frogs. Trey Mala checks in. Mala to Andrew Miller. Miller being defended by Kirby Seifel. And another goal by TCU with 4 minutes and 45 seconds in the first period. And now TCU leads by 1. The score is 3-2. Back out at the Fogo for the Tigers is number 15, Matthew Bates. Going to get a push penalty, and possession will go to the Tigers. Bringing it up for the Tigers is number 7, Devin Bonney. Caleb Munzone working behind X, gets back top side, gets a pass to number 22, Alex Kleminski. Kleminski's pass ricochets off of the pipes. Munzone almost intercepted that pass, but TCU does take over on offense, and Griffith Turner on the clear. And a timeout called by TCU. And that's 3 minutes and 46 seconds in the first period. And both of these teams have come out running and gunning. This has been a very, very quick pace for both of these squads. And again, my conversation with Coach Coppins before the game, his number one thing was pace, making sure that his guys came out and had pace to compete and win this game. And they have absolutely come out with that. Had some miscues early on offense. But, again, defensively is where they have to make up for it. And TCU is a team that's going to be challenging these guys in that crease area, in the box restraining area all day long. So that's one of the things that they are definitely going to have to work on here to end this first period, so that they don't give up any more points, because, again, down by 1 point, definitely competing versus the Horned Frogs here in Shreveport, Louisiana. And both teams, TCU in all purple and silver chrome helmets, and LSU in all white with purple trim, purple and gold trim. TCU brings it in from the far side. Ethan Griffin. Back down, working behind X's number 31, Trey Mala. Will Gambrell's pass, attempt on goal is saved by number 18, Henry Ballard. And a great move at the 50-yard line by Colin Ferguson to get the clear for the Tigers. Drew Dodd working behind X. Back up top to Caleb Monzone. Monzone, the Mason Cardiff. Christian Latino was wide right with the shot, and that's a save by number 6, Brody Cummins. Trey Mala on the clear, but gets a rear check and loses the ball, and a turnover possession goes back to LSU. Davin Bonney working the GLE on the near side. Now back behind X, back top side, looking for an outlet pass that is picked up by TCU, and that's going to be a turnover. And that's a great rear check by number 23, Cade Hernandez, creating that turnover. The Tigers on the clear and fast break going the other way. And that's a pass intercepted by the Horned Frogs. Possession TCU. Michael Fogarty to Andy Miller. Miller to Turner. And now to Michael Fogarty. Ten seconds in the first period. 16 seconds in the first period. It's going to be out of bounds. Possession is going to stay with the Horned Frogs, and that is a great save by the goalie, Henry Ballard. Errant pass with 1 second. And that's going to be the end of the first period, where TCU leads by 1. Score is 3-2. Would like to welcome all of you listening from all over the country, even those back in Fort Worth, Texas for TCU. We do a lot of Game On Sports with TCU and now with LSU, so it's hard to give some home cooking to either team because we love them both, but definitely want to make sure that we give a shout out to all of the listeners and everyone that's watching Game On Sports. Both teams are back on the field to begin the second period. Goalies switch goals. Out at the Fogo for TCU was number 7, Parker Brennan. Possession, however, does go to LSU. Working the near side is number 44, Ron Johnson. Johnson gets it back up top to number 7, Devin Bonney. TCU doing a really good job of communicating, not allowing any easy passes or any cutters. No crease violation called on that, but TCU able to create the turnover. Back on offense are the Horned Frogs. Number 32, Will Gambrell, to 9, Griffith Turner. Turner to Andy Miller, and Miller gets a pass to number 12, Hayden Lundy, at the side of the crease, and that is a score with 13:23 in the second period. TCU 4, LSU 2. LSU having to regroup. A lot of their early momentum has swung back to TCU. Matthew Bates is the Fogo for LSU, and number 29, Justin Cozy, is the Fogo for TCU. And that's a shot attempt by number 7, Devin Bonney, defended by Commons. Commons being pressured by Monzon. And finally, Griffith Turner for TCU gets to clear. Checking in on defense for LSU is number 14, Drew Dodd. Dodd defending Mala. Drew Bonney defending Gambrell. Working behind X is Hayden Lundy. That's a rear check. And that Hayden Lundy attempted an over-the-shoulder attempt on goal that went behind the net. LSU on the clear, number 4, Garrett Frey. Frey with the long pole. Like we're going to have an over and back by LSU. But they continue to allow play to go on. And that is a score by number 22, Alex Klimoski. We had a penalty call, and the referees are in a conference. It's 11:29 in the second period. So the score is good. And looks like the penalty has been waived off. So with 11:29 in the second period, LSU is stealing a little bit of that momentum back by getting on the board here at the beginning of the second period. Now only down by one. TCU 4, LSU 3. Get a move. LSU has the possession. And the shot on goal with the long pole, number 23, Cade Hernandez, from about 20 yards out. And that shot had so much velocity on it that it went into the parking lot of a nearby shopping center. We're trying to get the time corrected. It looks like the game clock never started when action resumed on the face-off. If you can't tell at home by the way that the officials' jerseys are waving, it is a pretty windy day here in Shreveport, Louisiana. Other than that, absolutely gorgeous day for some lacrosse. I do not know who ordered this weather, but it was the proper order for some good lacrosse to be played today here in Shreveport. Bringing it in from the end line is number 1, Caleb Monzon. Monzon gets it to number 7, Devin Bonney. Bonney working the middle of the field. Now in the alley in an attempt on goal that goes across the crease. Round ball taken by LSU. And Brody Commons able to secure the ball, but actually goes back over to LSU. It's an errant pass. LSU's going to call a quick timeout. I'm going to step away for just a second. We'll be right back with you. back in action as play resumes here at Lee Hedges Stadium in Shreveport, Louisiana. TCU leads LSU 4-3. 10:45 in the second period. Bringing it inbounds for LSU is number 11, Christian Latino. Latino to Johnson. Johnson to Monzon. Makes it back to Latino. Latino to Johnson with a shot attempt. Possession will stay with the Tigers. Bringing it in from the end line for the Tigers is number 22, Alex Klemonski. And Latino with a roller that goes out of bounds. Possession again will stay with the Tigers. Monzon on the far side tries to use the earth to score, and that's another save by Brody Cummins with 9:54 in the second period. Cummins to Griffith Turner. Turner makes a move and an easy clear by the Horned Frogs. Turner pressured by Alex Klemonski. TCU back in their open set. Andy Miller being guarded by number 6, Kirby Stifle. Nick Perino working behind the cage, gets it back. Gets it back to Will Gambrell. And that is another save by Henry Ballard. The Tigers are on the fast break, and that is a pass that is going to go out of bounds, and possession is going to go back to TCU with 8:44 in the second period. Tigers still down by 1. Cummins to Gambrell. Gambrell gets it out to Perino. Perino makes a pass on the far side, and that is a score by Andrew Miller from about 10 yards out with 8:25 in the second period. TCU 5, LSU 3. Coach Shane Coppins is not happy down here on the sideline. And the Fogo for TCU is Ethan Griffith. And for the Tigers is number 15, Matthew Bates. Griffith comes away with the faceoff. Substitutions being made by both teams. Michael Pacino working the GLE, being defended by number 7, Devin Bonney. Working behind the X and getting back topside is number 27, Michael Fogarty. Connor McLaughlin setting up the offense for the Horned Frogs. And that's a shot by Perino that goes high of the cage. Avery Ballard staying in position. He's been peppered by a lot of shots in this first half. Penalty called on the far side. Looks like we're trying to figure out what's going on with the clock. Been a bit of a problem since the beginning of the game, but we'll get things figured out here. That was an inadvertent horn that went off and stopped play. Referees make their way over here to the time clock area. Time clock keeper trying to straighten things out. And a 1 minute push penalty for number 12, Hayden Lundy. So LSU will be a man up. Ron Johnson gets it to the Latino. Johnson to Monzon. The Horned Frogs collapsing their defense to the restraining area. And that is a shot and score by number 38, Wally Schofield. Schofield standing 10 yards in the middle of the field and just gets a shot, a laser by Brody Commons. And that's 6:06 in the second period. The Tigers are now down by 1. TCU 5, LSU 4. And back at the Fogo for the Horned Frogs is number 2, Ethan Griffith. And for the Tigers, number 15, Matthew Bates. Ground ball taken. Looks like the possession is going to go to LSU. Monzon on the far side directing traffic. As players run off and substitutions are being made by both teams. TCU is now at full strength, with that penalty being served by Lundy. Johnson working the GLE. Gets it back to Wally Schofield. Working the alley is number 7, Devin Bonney. LSU being very aggressive, and that is another save by Brody Commons. Brody comes out of his area and gets it to Trey Mala. Mala gets it down to Miller. Miller thinks about a shot, brings it back up top. 4 minutes, 38 seconds in the second period. TCU setting up their offense. Trey Mala on the move in the middle of the field. Looking to make an outlet pass, being showed a lot of love by Devin Bonney with that stick, and that's a shot on goal that goes wide right. Nick Perino bringing it in from the end line, gets the pass to Mala. Andy Miller being defended by Kirby Stiefel. Stiefel with the rear check creates the turnover, and the Tigers are on the move. Johnson thinks about a shot, and he scores. Rolls one between the legs of Cummins, and with 3:36 in the second period, we are knotted up here in Shreveport. An aggressive play by the Tigers on defense, rear checking, doing everything that they have to get back in this game. And it's been their physical play that has made the difference and has created this tie with 3:36 in the second period. The momentum is with the Tigers. TCU wins the faceoff. That's number 7, Parker Brennan. The turnover created by the Tigers, and they take over. Johnson working behind X. Gets it back to Monzone. .255 in the second period. We're all tied up. Johnson near side to get an easy shot on goal to number 38, Wally Soulfield. Goes out of bounds. The Tigers will maintain possession. Checking in for the Tigers is number 24, Jay Rashid. That's a good save by Brody Cummins. Cummins with the save and the outlet pass to number 27, Michael Fogarty. 2:07 in the second period. We're tied up 5-5. Connor McLaughlin's pass is to Nicholas Perino. McLaughlin setting a pick for Perino. Penalty called. Andrew Miller setting up the offense, gets it out to number 22, Michael Bacino. Things getting a little chippy out here. So you have 2 penalties called. It's like a holding penalty is the first one, and an offsides would be the second. And serving the penalty for LSU is going to be number 36. And that's number 36 is Jacob Wasensi. Penalty for TCU is going to be number 33, Andrew Miller. So both teams down a man. It's 1:19 in the second period. Tino working the middle of the field, gets it back to Monzone. Monzon being defended by number 18, Zach Serpola. And that's a shot attempt by Latino, and it goes off of the pipes. And LSU is calling a timeout with 45 seconds remaining in the second period, and all of the momentum has been stolen from the early scoring barrage from TCU, and LSU has gotten back in this game with physical play, and it's been a great job by their goalie, Henry Ballard, not allowing any easy scores from the Horned Frogs. Both teams are walking back on the field. 45 seconds left in the second period. I'm sure LSU is trying to set up a shot to go up by one going into the half. Johnson's shot. So they're going to call a violation on LSU, and that's going to be possession. TCU with 26 seconds in the second period. "15 seconds in the second period. And that is a score with 2 seconds in the second period by Caleb Monzon. Scores falling to a knee, and a shot that goes right by the right ear of the goalie, Brody Cummins, who has been playing a solid game so far in this first half. But LSU goes up by 1 point with 2 seconds left in the first half. Justin Cozy is at the X for the Horned Frogs, and number 7, Devin Bonney, is your fogo for the Tigers. And time will expire, and LSU has stolen all the momentum of the first half and come back to lead by 1 going into half. And I'm sure Coach Mark Purcell is going to have a conversation with his group about stealing this momentum back. What we're going to do is step away for a few minutes, and we'll be right back with you after the half. About 40 seconds before we resume action here at Lee Hedges Stadium in Shreveport, Louisiana, where your LSU Tigers lead the TCU Horned Frogs 6-5. Looking for both of these teams, obviously, in this second half to be very aggressive. We saw a bunch of shots on goal in that first half by both squads. Great job by both goalies. Have to give credit where credit is due to number 18, Henry Ballard, for the job that he's done today, and also Brody Cummins. Both of these guys have been peppered with shots, and so for for this matchup to be as close as it is, it's been because of the job that both of these guys are doing. Both teams trot out on the field. Fogo for the Tigers is number 15, Matthew Bates. Correction, not Matthew Bates. Well, no, it will be Matthew Bates. And for the Horned Frogs, number 29, Justin Cozy. Ground ball taken and victory by LSU. 15, Matthew Bates. Oh, that's another ground ball pickup by number 27, Michael Fogarty. Intercepted by LSU. And that's a shot attempt on goal by Caleb Monzon, and another save by Brody Cummins. Possession is going to go to TCU. Trey Mala looking for the clear. Gets it to Cozy. Cozy to Griffith Turner. I'll look in the second half for TCU to try and exploit some matchups. One of the things that they did in their game against the University of Texas in Prosper was finding those favorable matchups in the second half, and it was Nicholas Perino and Trey Mala that both took advantage of some miscues by the University of Texas. And speaking of miscue, number 32, Will Gambrell, steps out of bounds, and possession is going to go to LSU, and LSU makes an errant pass, so it goes back to the Horned Frogs. Got whistles all around, play stoppage. Got 13:35 in the third period. Gambrell on the move, being defended by Devin Bonney. Bonney able to create the turnover. LSU going the other way. Bonney on the clear, gets a pass out to number 38, Wally Sofield. Sofield gets it back down to Monzon. And Monzon and Alex Kleminski on a little two-man game. Gets it back to number 12, Mason Cardiff. And that's another save by Brody Cummins after the Cardiff attempt on goal. Going back the other way is TCU. And that's Griffith Turner being defended by Diego Segura. That's another save by the LSU goalie, Henry Ballard. LSU is back on offense. Working the GLE is number 44, Ron Johnson. Back up top to Christian Latino. Ollie Sofel getting back top side, being defended by number 21, Traeger Kennard. Kennard has a pass, and that's going to go back to number 38, and Wally Sofield scores from the near side. And 11-21 and the third period, and it looks like there's going to be a penalty as well. Score is good. LSU leads TCU 7-5. That's going to be a push penalty. Served by number 11, John Bush. 1 minute. So to make matters worse, the Horned Frogs will be down a man. Cardiff brings it inbounds. Back to Johnson. Johnson to Latino. Back down to Monzon. Kleminski's pass is to Latino. And that was a pass from Monzon, attempt to Cardiff, cross field. Great vision, but just a little high, and that's going to be a turnover that's going to go to the Horned Frogs. Multiple flags on that one sequence, but play does continue. When play stops, I do believe that the Tigers will be down a man. Drew Miller setting up the offense for the Horned Frogs, back up to Griffith Turner. Turner on the move in the alley. Ball is going to go out of bounds. We're going to see who the penalty is going to be served by. Penalty is going to be served. Well, there's going to be two penalties. Number 44, Ron Johnson, and Wally Sofield. So the Tigers will be down 2 men. Definitely an opportunity by TCU to take advantage of these numbers. And that's a shot on goal that goes wide left by Griffin Turner. They have numbers backside. Going to go out of bounds. Again, TCU keeps possession. Those 30-second penalties have been served by the Tigers, so they're back at full strength defensively. And the Tigers go man-to-man. Showing some different looks here on defense. And that's just great defense by the Tigers. Oh, that's a great pass towards the crease. Both of these teams are competing, and that's 8-16 in the third period. LSU 7, TCU 5. Referees trying to get everything under control. Guys are chirping at each other. Just, like I said, things getting a little chippy here in Shreveport. We know that this is a must-win game for LSU. Bringing it in for the Tigers, number 38, Wally Solfield. Zach Sherman getting things started for the Tigers. Being defended by number 12, Hayden Lundy. Manzone has been looking to facilitate for the Tigers. Devin Bonney directing traffic for the Tigers. That's another shot attempt and save by Brody Commons. Michael Pacino doing a great job of avoiding that contact by number 5, Zach Sherman, at the 50-yard line and able to clear. Michael Pacino gets the pass to Mala. Back to number 33 for the Horned Frogs. Number 33 is Andrew Miller, who gets the score with 6:29 in the third period. And the Horned Frogs are inching their way back into this game, now down by 1. LSU 7, TCU 6. And the intensity in this second half, I tell you, both of these teams, seeing a lot of guys on the ground with guys going for those possessions and just increasing that physicality. In the sidelines, guys down here yelling at one another, just trying to get this team, the TCU is just trying to get back in this game. Face-off taken by the Horned Frogs, and the turnover goes to the Tigers. And number 15, Matthew Bates with an attempt on goal. Bates was down, Looks like he is. It's okay. Looks like he turned an ankle. Walks off on his own power, so that's a good sign. Six minutes, 10 seconds in the third period as play resumes. TCU finally gets the clear, setting up their offense. And that's a shot attempt by Griffith Turner. Possession stays with the Horned Frogs. Working behind X number 27, Michael Fogarty. It's a pass attempt that rolls to the middle of the field. However, TCU regains the possession. Trey Mala on the near side makes a move, turns back into a Tiger defenseman. Hunter makes a move, tries a shot at the corner of the cage, but Henry goes off of the shoulder of Henry Ballard. 4:44 in the third period. And that's a turnover by number 38, Wally Sofield. Possession is going to go back to the Horned Frogs. Trey Mala setting up the offense. Connor McLaughlin working the GLE on the near side. Being defended by number 36 for the Tigers. Trey Mala makes a move and a scoop pass. And that's an over-the-shoulder shot for number 12, Hayden Lundy. Defended by number 18, Henry Ballard with the save. What an awesome sequence of lacrosse on that play. They're showing superior stick skills by Lundy. And an even better save by the goalie, Henry Ballard. Griffith Turner bringing it back in bounds. Gets the clear. Trey Mala working the alley and at the front of the cage, and that's a score. And he uses the earth for the bouncer that goes by number 18, Henry Ballard, with 3:18 in the third period. Here we are again, all knotted up at sevens. And do we have ourselves a lacrosse game this afternoon? Goodness gracious. Justin Cozy at the Fogo for TCU, and Matthew Bates for the Tigers. Ground ball taken by TCU. Both teams fighting for possession. Got a holding penalty, and possession is going to go to TCU. Trying to listen for the penalty. It's going to be a 30-second penalty. Will be served by number 38, Wally Sofield. With 2:40 in the third period, TCU will be up a man. Working behind X is Lundy. Lundy with the outlet pass that ricochets. Shot on goal, ricochets off of the head of one of the Tiger defenders. Lundy tried to do just a little slow roller from the side of crease area. Possession is going to stay with TCU. Fogarty brings it in from the end line, gets it back up top to number 32, Will Gambrell. Gambrell working the alley, gets it to Trey Mala. Mala's shot ricochets off of the chest plate of number 18, Henry Ballard, and we could hear it from the press box. Thank God he's wearing a chest plate, because that was a shot. Devin Bonney showing a lot of love with that stick on the far side. That's another save by number 18, Henry Ballard. That guy's going to be sore at the end of this game, if not for just that the shot that he took to the chest. .32 seconds in the third period. That's an errant pass. Not able to, Ron Johnson not able to corral that pass, so possession is going to go to the Horned Frogs with 10 seconds to go in the third period, and that's a shot from about 10 yards out and a score to take the lead with 5 seconds, and that's Hayden Lundy with the shot from the casino and just a cannon. Maybe I shouldn't say casino. I should say track. I'm sorry. From the track. LSU with possession, and that's going to be the end of the third period. TCU 8, LSU 7. And we'll be right back with you guys for the final frame of action here at Lee Hedges Stadium in Shreveport, Louisiana. As play resumes for this final frame of action here in Shreveport, Louisiana, TCU, the go-ahead score with 10 seconds left in the third period, leading by 1. And the way that both of these teams have been competing and the pace of this game, this one-score lead is not safe. So back at the Fogo for the Horned Frogs is number 7, Parker Brennan, and number 15, Matthew Bates. The Tigers come away with the face-off. And both teams now at full strength on offense and defense. Brett Davis directing the offense for the Tigers. Working back behind X is Johnson. Johnson's pass is to Monzon. Monzon gets it back up top to Devin Bonney. Bonney working behind X, being defended by number 37, Spencer Vieira. And that's a one-on-one opportunity for the Tigers, a missed opportunity. TCU bringing their defense out a little higher on Johnson. Joshua Harris and Harrison and Vieira defending the far side, and that is a goal by the Tigers. Number 3, Brett Davis, with 13:09 in the fourth period. Guess what? We're tied up. What a ball game. What a ball game and score. TCU had many opportunities. Brody Commons was denying the one-on-one matchup that they had in front of the cage, but then able to just continue to slash and cut and got backside and was able to score was Brett Davis. Cozy back down into X with Matthew for the Tigers. Cozy with the win. Errant pass by Cozy goes to the Tigers. Second by number 38, Wally Solfa. Johnson running the GLE. 12:42 in the fourth period. Johnson getting back top side, and that is a score by Don Johnson. And Johnson is down. We're going to step away for just a second. We'll be right back with you. Good to see Johnson jog off under his own power. Penalty is being served by number 21, Traeger Kennard. LSU now up by a score, 12-34 in the fourth period. Cozy and Matthew are the Fogos. Going to get a push. Possession is going to go to TCU. Trey Mala comes on for the Horned Frogs. Turnover created by number 8, Diego Segura. The Tigers take over on offense. Monzon standing on the far side, waiting on Johnson, who was down, but healthy enough to continue playing. That's good to see. Collapsing back down in that box area are the Horned Frogs. Pass goes out of bounds and going to go back to the Tigers. Bringing it in from out of bounds is Monzon. His shot on goal. It's going to go out of bounds, and possession will stay with the Tigers. Up by 1 with 10:46 in the fourth period. Alex Kleminski is looking to make another pass, makes it to Johnson. Johnson, after shooting 2 shots on goal, attempts a third. Monzon coming down the alley with the great look at the cage, but no shot attempt. 10-10 in the final frame. The Tigers lead by 1. Number 11, Latino, working the alley. His pass is over the head of Johnson. It's like a timeout is going to be called by LSU. Coach Shane Coppin saw something. He wants to get his offense back organized so they could take advantage of the numbers that they have with 9:55 in this final frame. We'll be right back with you. Both teams are back on the field with 9:55 in the fourth period. The Tigers will have possession and eager to go up by 2. Klomoski working behind X for the Tigers. So back up top to number 12, Mason Cardiff. Cardiff to Johnson. Johnson working the near side, GLE. Klomoski makes a move, gets it to Johnson. Johnson, middle of the field, and a shot and save by Brody Commons. And that pass goes, it's an errant pass that goes back to the Tigers. Monzone's shot defended by Brody Commons. Klomoski working behind X, gets back top side. Shot in front of the goal, and that's Johnson, the guy that went down earlier, but he has scored 2 shots in the last 2 minutes for the Tigers to go up by 2 points with 8:36 in the fourth period. LSU 10, TCU 8. And talk about the momentum change in this game for 4 quarters. Neither team has dominated a quarter. It has been ebb and flow city from the beginning of the first face-off. And just staying with that same theme all game. But right now, the Bayou Bengals have all of the momentum. Griffith Turner to Mala. Mala working the middle of the field. Mala back to Turner. Back down to Ethan Griffith. Griffith to Fogarty. 7:47 in the fourth frame, in the final frame. Turner to Mala. Back to Fogarty, and Fogarty with the shot. And another save by number 18, Henry Ballard. They're going to say possession goes to the Tigers. And Coach Mark Purcell does not appreciate that at all. Klomoski setting up the offense for the Tigers in 6:50 in this final frame. Zach Sherman on the move for the Tigers. Gets a great pass, but better defense by the Horned Frogs. Great outlet pass to number 9, Griffith Turner on the fast break for the Horned Frogs. And a shot. And that's number 33, Andy Miller, with a shot from the near side. That was a missile past the ear of number 18, Henry Ballard. And that's 6-16 in the fourth period. LSU's lead has shrank to 1 point. Parker Brennan is the Fogo for TCU. And number 15, Matthew Bates for LSU. Possession goes to TCU. Ball goes out of bounds. Possession LSU. Brett Davis on the clear. Davis back down to Johnson. 5:51 remaining in the fourth period. Tigers being aggressive, looking for those cutters in the lane. Working behind the X, and that's a pass from Brett Davis that goes over the head of number 22, Alex Klomoski. 5:14 in the fourth period. TCU takes possession. And that's a bad pass, and possession is going to go back to the Tigers. Klomoski on the clear, gets it back to Johnson. Johnson to Sofield. Back up top to number 12, Mason Cardiff. Get it back down behind X to number 38, Wally Sofield. Four minutes in the fourth period. Monzon working behind X for the Tigers. Ball comes off of the head of his stick. Being defended by Trey Mala. communication problem and another shot on goal by Monzon that rolls out of bounds. Possession stays with the Tigers. Looking at a reset on the clock. Looks like the clock never started, so they're going to do a runoff on the time. Like the time now on the field should be okay. And I guess this is strange because I don't know exactly what's going on, but they're letting time run off, and they're going to stop at 2:28. So maybe the clock never started for a – okay, I thought I was right. So, yes. So they let a 5-second runoff happen. We're actually now at 3:42 in the fourth period. So we got the time right. So we got time corrected here. And that's going to be possession to TCU. 3:28 in the fourth period. Trey Mala is on the fast break. Nicholas Perino with the shot on goal. And that is another brilliant save by number 18, Henry Ballard. Two minutes and 48 seconds in the fourth period. LSU up by one. Number 24, Jay Rashid, back on for the Tigers, working behind X. Gets back top side, an attempt on goal, goes behind the net. Monzon's shot goes high. Possession will stay with the Tigers. Bringing it in from the end line is number 38, Wally Solfield. Solfield to Latino. And the ball comes off of the head of Latino's stick. TCU looked as though they had possession, and another timeout is going to be called by LSU with under 2 minutes left in this game, 1 minute and 50 seconds in the fourth period. Again, Coach Shane Coppins just wanted to make sure that he gets a quality offensive possession, and he takes another timeout. We're going to step away for just a second. And again, want to announce that this is a Game On Sports production. Back in action with 1 minute and 50 seconds in the final period. LSU up by 1 over TCU in a game that has been fast and furious from the first seconds of this game. Ebb and flows back and forth. We've had a lot of penalties called in this game. Things have gotten a chippy here in the second half, but LSU has maintained the possession or the lead, being up by 1. Possession goes to TCU, and that's number 27, Michael Fogarty. Fogarty working the far side, finally gets it to Lundy. Lundy working the alley. And that's a timeout with 1 minute and 10 seconds in the fourth period. And you know, Coach Mark Purcell wants to get his guys together because this is a very important possession for the TCU Horned Frogs. An opportunity to tie it up and go to overtime and get this victory. Both teams come back onto the field to play. Very important offensive possession for TCU. Bringing it inbounds for TCU is number 31, Trey Mala. Referees are back over at the timekeeper's table. Both teams yelling encouragement at their guys. definitely know how important this possession is. It's like we've got some questions about the shot clock going on between the referee and both coaches. Trey Mala brings it inbounds from TCU. Back up top is Fogarty, and Fogarty's shot goes off of the leg. Ball went out of bounds. Possession is going to stay with the Horned Frogs. 51 seconds left in the fourth period. Trey Mala working the GLE. Will Gambrell's shot is wide left. 40 seconds in the fourth period. And what a lacrosse match that we have here in Shreveport. Fogarty gets it back behind X, back over to number 33. Gambrell back to Trey Mala. And another timeout called, and that's 19 seconds in this game. 19 seconds. Coach Mark Purcell taking another timeout, final timeout, to try and get his group together so that they could tie this ball game up. Both huddles being broke. Guys back on the field. 19 seconds in the fourth quarter. Bringing the ball inbounds for TCU is number 32, Will Gambrell. Gambrell being defended by number 14, Drew Dodd. 10 seconds remaining in this ball game. Trying to get a shot to the front of the cage is TCU, and it goes over the top of the goal, and that's going to be the ball game. And the LSU Tigers get their first victory over the Horned Frogs of TCU. I said before the broadcast that this was a must-win game for LSU, and they played and treated this game like it was, and they pull away with a 1-point victory over TCU. Both of these teams have qualified for the MCLA tournament in Round Rock, Texas, but this has been that qualifier that Coach Coppin said that, look, I want to make sure that my guys get a victory to earn that certified bid to Round Rock. So for myself here in Shreveport, Louisiana, on behalf of Fred Gardner, Cookie, who's in Austin on another game, and myself, I want to thank all of you guys for tuning in to the game here in Shreveport, Texas. This is Shreveport, Louisiana. This has been a Game On Sports production. God bless you all, and have a wonderful day.